Fans, next time you need tickets to a game or concert, head to StubHub and discover why millions of fans make it their go-to site for finding great seats, even on the day of the event and even if it's sold out. The only question is, where do you want to sit? StubHub! The BS Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects.
First of all,
This is the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
it might be cool, I don't know. And if it's not, I don't
The
care.
BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons works for ESPN. He's also named the sports guy, and he writes a comical sports column. He must be a popular dude.
The BS Report.
It's got a real dirty sound, like a rusty steak knife cutting through a well-aged steak.
Now.
Here's Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the BS Report. I'm not Bill Simmons.
I'm also not Bill Simmons.
My name is David Jacoby.
I'm Juliet Litman.
We both work at Grantland, and we both love reality television. So we do a podcast about reality television every Friday. This is the last episode of the Grantland Network takeover on the BS Report. I really appreciate you guys listening to all the different shows. And we're going to talk about our favorite shows in the week. There's a lot to get into, Juliet. I'm excited about it.
Me too. I have to say, I thought it was a pretty good week.
You made a controversial statement today in the office. You said you're out on Bachelor Pad in on the real world. Please explain.
100% true. I really enjoyed Real World this week. I watched it this morning. It was just.
It's been one of the most boring seasons of the real world.
I know it's been one of the most boring, but I thought last night was the best episode yet. And
Okay.
Laura, who's like my fake nemesis that I've claimed to hate, I even like her a little bit more after this week's episode.
First of all, you totally hate Laura. That's not fake at all. I know you, okay? You do hate Laura, okay? But if you're not watching The Real World this season, it's St. Thomas, and which sounds enticing, but then you realize that they put them on an island. So it's definitely not like they're secluded on an island.
They seem so relieved every time they get off the island.
Yeah.
It's like the second they step into the boat, they're just like a little peppier, a little more excited, and they all. I mean, I guess it's a requisite to be on the show that you have to like going out, but they seem so happy when they're they're interacting with other people in the clubs. It's like unreal. It's like a different cast. And this week, I think it was so good because they were like out a lot. A lot of the drama centered on Laura, this girl that I've in the past claimed to hate. I still
Totally
wouldn't say
hates her.
I like her, but
Totally hates her.
I like her a little bit more. I thought I was going to come out of the episode liking her like straight up, but no, she couldn't. She couldn't.
Still in the red. She didn't push you over into the black.
Exactly. But anyway, so she's like hooking up with this guy Trey in the house.
And she's forced to hook up with him because they're literally on an island.
Well, she lets loose without Trey.
Oh, yeah.
She's at the club and she like meets some other guys. She's
hot
flirting.
guy.
She gets some numbers. Yeah, a hot guy
Who looked kind of like Wes from The Challenge.
Totally. Also, it's interesting to me when the people who just happen to be there, they sign off on being on camera. I guess you have to, if you want to stay in the club, you have to sign off probably. But he got some real FaceTime, and Trey was yelling at him, expletive, you're ugly. Like he kept like.
Yeah, I always think that's interesting. Let's just tell the story a little bit. Like she's definitely hooking up with Trey, who's like she's been forced to because they're stuck on an island, and Trey has what's now known as a GBH.
Girl back home.
Girl back home. It seems a girl back home is what they should title this season. This is the girl back home season, and Trey's GBH. And it's not going very well, but he's hooking up with Laura, and at the same time, kind of is her de facto boyfriend and gets jealous.
Way jealous. But also, P.S., last week's episode included Trey possibly becoming a possible father, and that was just totally dropped. Not mentioned at all this week.
Solid point.
So Trey was like freaking out over someone he's not even technically dating, someone he hasn't DTR'd with.
Which I learned last week stands for
Define the relationship.
I promise there'll be no more three-letter acronyms for the rest of this podcast.
But those two are really essential to this season of The Real World, so I'm glad we brought them out.
Yeah, fair.
Like if there's ever going to be a Real World dictionary, GBH and DTR will now both be in there.
I just broke the promise that there won't be any more. But he has not defined the relationship with Laura.
And he's freaking out over her.
You can't have a pregnant girl back home and be super jealous about your girl on the island dancing with a guy.
Right. That leads me to believe maybe she wasn't pregnant, or it's something else that we chose to not believe in. I don't know, because he just seemed to move on from it too quickly. Mm-hmm. if his girl back home was possibly pregnant, I think it would be a much bigger storyline. And even maybe he said he didn't want it to be a storyline. I think he'd be too preoccupied to be getting slammered and then freaking out over Laura.
Yeah, I think Laura has this like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing where when she's around Trey, she's like this doting puppy dog girlfriend with this huge crush on this guy who does or does not like her or really care for her. And then after, like, if he's not around after 3 or 4 drinks, she gets this look in her eye like taking all comers, like I'm ready to flirt and dance and do the thing.
That's the Laura I like. She seemed really fun. Like I would like love to go out with her. She seems like she would like help me like escalate the night to like have that extra drink, like bring it to the next level.
Yeah.
But then she goes back with Trey and she's just so annoying and pathetic. I mean, you know who agrees with me? Her housemate Marie.
Yeah, yes. There was a big fight, a big argument between Swifty, my favorite cast member, whose last name is Swift, and everyone calls him Swifty, so that's not just a made-up nickname. But and Marie, please explain.
So on the way back from a great night out, Marie, I don't even think. Oh yeah, Laura was in the van. Marie and Laura and LaToya and Swifty are all in this van, and Laura's in
a pre-boat van.
A pre-boat van.
Yeah.
They're taking it's like in the van from the club to the boat.
Yeah.
So they're still happy. Still out of captivity. Yeah. But things go south when Marie starts like calling out Laura for her behavior with Trey because she also finds her like completely pathetic. Mm-hmm. And Swifty starts defending Laura, and he's like, "She has so much love in your heart. You have no idea. She has so much love in her heart."
I just want to say they're all inslopsicated. Like none of them are really making any sense, but they're not that excited woohoo party drunk. They're getting that like emotional, like serious drunk, which is like I don't know what exactly brought them there, but they're all there.
Yeah, I think usually hard alcohol brings you there. They must have strayed from the beer path or something.
Yeah, fair. But it was definitely like one of those like someone's gonna cry nights for a long time.
And someone did cry. I believe Laura cried.
I'm sure all of them cried at some point. Probably when they got off the boat and they realized they were stuck on this island for another 12 hours.
Well, then Marie did the most ridiculous thing. So they have this fight, and so somehow Laura like leaves the fight, but it keeps escalating between Swifty and Marie. Like they keep like I don't know going at each other. I guess they didn't like each other. Subplot. Who cares?
Yeah.
And then the next morning, Marie decides to write a note and leave it for her roommate Laura, like apologizing for her behavior.
Yeah. I want to make one note about the note. It said, I was really intoxicated last night. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Signed Ree, R-I, like Marie.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ooh, I think she probably brought that up. That's probably post Rihanna.
Oh, for sure.
That's probably post Rihanna. I'm gonna say a controversial statement. Are you ready for an unpopular opinion?
Hit me.
Alcohol's not an excuse.
Completely agree.
Not an excuse.
Completely agree.
It's not an excuse. Like, you were being yourself.
Yeah, that's how you really feel.
You're just more of like an exaggerated version of yourself.
You're just ready to say it because you forgot that you shouldn't.
Yeah, because you had 16 like lemon drop shots.
Not an excuse at all. Of course, but I'm just more focused on the fact that they're on this tiny island.
Not St. Thomas. They're on a tiny island off of St. Thomas.
They kept saying the name of it, but now I can't remember. Anyway.
I think it's like a cage or something. I don't know.
If you are not prepared to like confront that fight with your roommate on your tiny island with only 7 people on the island, you might be in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not that you couldn't find time to talk to her.
Also, it's like kind of becoming this like meta moment where the note, I feel like Jersey Shore really beat us over the head with the note when they were in Miami.
The anonymous note.
The anonymous note
that
Snooki and JWoww wrote to Sammy.
Yes.
And the whole time I was just thinking of, she definitely saw this on TV and like put it in like her reality TV arsenal and like decided if I ever got into a fight, I'll write them a note.
Another arrow in her reality TV quiver. I'm also going to say this: if you're going to write a note to one of your friends to apologize, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's say that you're going to do that.
Okay.
Okay. You don't have on an island or not, and you put pen to paper, and I'm the person receiving the note. That note better be longer than 2 sentences. You know what I mean? Like, you sat down, you found a pen, you found some paper, and you wrote a 2-sentence note. Like, that's what I do on birthday cards. You know what I mean? It's like an office birthday card. I put more effort into than her note to apologize to her friend.
It's like she only was apologizing for drinking too much.
Yeah.
And so she didn't want to have to like get into it, so she just sort of like took the easy way out.
Qualifiers on apologies never play.
No,
they never play.
You gotta go all in on the apology, or just stay in the fight. Like, at least stand by it. People will respect you for it.
Especially if you're. Look. You play your personality up a little bit on reality television.
Oh yeah.
You either apologize full on, Or just stay in the fight, which is probably a better play.
Definitely. I know. Everyone ends up making out and making out. I'm
sure that'll happen as well.
They were making out, but they also were making up. Like, that's the thing. Like, by the end of the episode, Laura was, like, back in the clutch with Trey, and I just was so disappointed. Actually, I don't know if you noticed this, but Trey and Laura, like, went for, like, a walk outside, and he wasn't wearing her clothes, but it kind of looked like he was, and she was wearing his, and they just looked like such a mess. Like, it was like supposed to be this like really emotional, like romantic shot of them like walking along the water's
They're
edge.
both cross-dressing.
But they're like both cross-dressing. We know Trey loves to dress up.
Yeah, yes he does. He often wears pirate hats.
Yeah. And it just like became this. It was really funny. She was like wearing like really baggy shorts and a really big t-shirt, and he was wearing like a really tight like tank top and like really small underwear, and so they just looked hilarious, like walking together in like the moonlight as they were like making up after this fight. And he also was like using the drunk excuse. He was like, Laura, I'm really drunk right now.
Yeah, and this is the same Trey who in a job interview at Coral World, which they haven't been to, or they went like for a second.
They were like worried about having to work together, but they didn't actually go to work.
Yeah, exactly. In a job interview, he's like, and listen, I don't drink like the rest of the housemates. Just completely throws everybody else under the bus, and then he's going to drop the like, oh, I was so drunk. When he joined the party late, too.
He also clearly drinks. We've seen you do it, Trey.
Yeah.
That is a lie.
Yeah. It's a prerequisite to be on the Real World.
Yeah.
Before you go out, they give you a breathalyzer, and there's a minimum, not a maximum.
It's completely ridiculous. Also, then they did a confessional together, like, and that's like the true sign of friendship on the Real World. If you do a confessional with someone else,
it's
you
like
know
getting
your
married.
friend. Yeah.
It's like getting married. Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, it's like a ceremony. It's the same thing.
I feel like there's been a lot of confessionals this season, which I'm fine with, but it keeps like reminding me of how budget their confessional room is. Like usually it's like themed like for the city, or it's like a cool space because they record so many hours, and like that footage is integral to the production. So
it also doubles as a smush room, a de facto smush room.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's definitely happened.
Yeah.
For sure. I think it's happened like on at least Jersey Shore.
Well, no, the confessional smush that's a tried and true tradition on the Real World.
I hope we get one this year. We haven't so far.
Yeah, we have not.
Anyway, it's just like a bench with a blanket over it. It's it looks like it could be like bricks under there. Like who knows?
It was like they sent a PA to the park and we're just like, just come back with something. We forgot to dress the smush room.
It's so weird. I don't know why, because usually it's like, and it's usually some like decorated in some like very elaborate way.
And now it's a homeless person's bedroom.
Now they're just over it.
Yeah.
Maybe they just knew the season wasn't gonna be good going into it.
There's one moment. This season's bad. I mean, I know. I think you're just trying to claim that you're into this season when you're really not, which is fine. Okay.
No, I really liked it.
Which is fine. But there's one soundbite from this season that I'm very excited about. I haven't been as clean as people think I have.
I can't wait.
There's a gentleman on the Real World named Brandon, and he's an ex-drug abuser and
heroin addict.
Yes, and he was a hardcore drinker during the season. Woke up one morning and said, "I'm going to AA." My
favorite soundbite is when he said, if it wasn't for the dehydration, he would drink alcohol 100% of the time.
Yeah, exactly. I like when he says, life sucks without drugs and alcohol.
Yeah. Poor Brandon.
We've covered this a bit on the podcast, but I feel myself very morally challenged by Brandon because I root for him to fall off the wagon. I root for his demise, but that's just a really evil, negative thing for me to do, and I can't really come to grips with it.
I mean, I feel the same way. I was legitimately excited when I saw that clip of him like excuse the pun, coming clean about how he's been drinking. People don't know, but I don't know. I can't fight it. I mean, if I'm going to enjoy this show, I need to have some Brandon drama. So.
Another bad show that has a recent jolt of energy and excitement around the Grantland office is The Real Housewives of New York City, which I literally just watch and cannot wait for it to be over so I can watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
Big Monday nights for
you.
Yeah,
that's my thing. That's my thing. I'm just like, God, this cannot end soon enough. Let me see Stevie J.
There are definitely two background shows. Like I put on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta last night after the Housewives. Mm-hmm. I was catching up, and
then you look at Team USA's Instagram accounts?
Yeah, and then I see what's up with Kevin Love and Darren Williams.
yes.
Sneakily, Darren Williams, great Instagram account.
Really?
Yeah, don't sleep on that one. He also does ones like of his kids. He has some cute kids, and like they're just like, he has a lot of them. He does a lot of reposting too, so he's kind of like the aggregator of the team. So like if you've missed any.
But you have not missed any.
No, I haven't.
Juliet religiously follows Team USA's Instagram trip through London.
I'm sad the Olympics are ending because the pictures will be on. I felt this way in '08 too. I really liked those Chris Bosh videos.
Yes, those were good for a while. He had a bunch of characters and stuff.
Yeah, and also he before it was like a cool thing to do. Like Chris Bosh brought like his flip cam and then posted the videos of them like at McDonald's in China or whatever. And I remember when I had then watched all of those. I don't think he posted them during. It wasn't the same kind of hyper internet era.
Yeah.
But like afterwards, I remember watching all of them, and I was like so bummed when I got to the last one. I was like, oh, this is over?
Is that how you feel now?
A little bit. I'm not even upset. I'm like, I don't know. I'm a little upset the Olympics are ending, and everyone's going to go back to not being friends.
During the closing ceremonies, do you think Kobe Bryant will hold up a huge sign that says Mamba out?
I really hope so. That's a great idea.
That's how he signs off his Facebook posts, by the way. Mamba out.
They're incredible. He posted one of him and Serena Williams where, she's in the Kobe system, you're welcome commercial.
Okay.
And he posted one of her, and he's finally in on the joke of how ridiculous his Facebook page is.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I don't know.
Are you sure about that statement, Juliet?
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because he posted this picture of him and Serena Williams, and it was something different beast, same athlete, different beast, something from the commercial, and then it was you're welcome. And that's ridiculous. If he's posting you're welcome after it's in the commercial and he's making fun of himself in the commercial.
I'm not so sure.
You think he's being serious?
I'm not so sure, Juliet.
He's a smart guy.
We're going to have to finish this conversation on the Team USA Instagram account podcast.
Sorry. Back to the Real Housewives.
That we record every Saturday. Real Housewives of New York City. There's a gentleman on the show named George that we discussed last week. George is a self-defined sex addict, 70-year-old, who constantly hits on his own daughter. I mean, I'll spare you the details.
It's wrong. It's just wrong.
It's wrong in so many ways.
But so right for TV.
So right for TV. So right for TV that on the next time on this week, George is back. And clearly there's a producer that saw the magic that was George in front of a camera and was like, whatever it takes, let's get this guy in every shot.
He must have been a huge hit while they were in Miami. There must have been more that we didn't even see for them to bring him up to New York. I think that show, they have a really long filming period, whatever production people call that.
Okay, filming period works. It's fine.
I think they started in October or so, and this past week they were already at Christmas, and I think he must come up sometime in January or February.
So it's a 3-month window.
I think that they allow.
I'm glad you
extra
brought
time.
this up. I'm glad you brought up the window of which they film and the length of time, because it seems like they've spent 3 months and in at least a 3-episode thread of Sonia and her logo.
It's basically the entire the main running
show.
theme of the show.
Yeah, exactly. Sonia and the logo. There's been 3 meetings with this graphic designer who, in this episode, there's part of her logo. If you haven't seen it, weird. Part of her logo is it's a silhouette of a woman, right, walking with a purse and a dress on. And he held up this foam core big board with all of his variations of the same silhouette. And honestly, it was one of those bar games, which one is different. They were all the exact same. And then he holds up another foam core board with 6 different variations of Sonia's name, and they're all the exact same. I don't think this guy understands. I don't think they're different.
Sonia's really not into him too. She's definitely on the same side as you. I feel like she just isn't connecting with this guy. And
no.
I can't believe I guess he just wanted to be on TV because he did not seem into it during his first appearance. He was checking his watch, not happy to be part of this whole logo charade. And also, the thing that's so ridiculous, this is now the 2nd season that logo drama has been a predominant theme of the Real Housewives of New York. Bethany and Alex in season 2 did this whole thing with basically the exact same looking logo. The Bethany Skinny Girl logo, the ponytail.
Oh yeah, it's the same logo.
It's the same logo.
It's a solid point.
So this is not just a recycled storyline. It is a recycled storyline.
Yeah, and they might as well call it the real logo designs of New York City. Seriously, it should be on the logo network too. While we're at it.
It definitely should. It's the target demographic anyway.
Exactly. I'm in.
It was really absurd. And also the logo's not even that good.
Not even that good. It's just honestly, it's just a font that says Sonia and a silhouette of a woman walking.
And the Bethany one is so famous now that I've seen a few knockoffs of it. That's the go-to girly symbol now.
Yeah.
The way Bethany does it. And hers is so ubiquitous. I mean, maybe you don't notice, but every time I go to the grocery store, I look to see if they have the skinny girl stuff. And
That's something that an insane person would do.
well, like not. I mean,
I just want you to know that.
I just like.
I know when you go to the grocery store, you just stay in the alcohol aisle. that's what grocery shopping is for you.
No, I just like I like want to see if they have it. Like it's amazing how it's grown. Like now it's everywhere.
Have you seen Bethany's show?
Bethany Ever After?
Yeah.
Is it a serious question? Of course I've seen it.
What happens there? I
love
not seen
it.
a single frame.
Oh, it's fantastic.
You watch it really like you really watch it. Or you watch it because it's Bethany and you want to make fun of it.
I watch it because I like Bethany.
This is new information for me, Juliet, and I'm a little freaked out, and I don't think we should explore this.
You don't like her?
I thought it was just a given that everybody didn't like her. She's one of the most annoying human beings on the face of the planet.
I like admire how real she is.
Oh my God, we might have to stop the podcast.
I also love her husband, Jason.
I'm not that familiar with Jason's
Great
work.
guy.
Okay, let's just move on because you're freaking me out right now. Okay, Bethany Ever After, you really watched that show?
Yes.
And doesn't she have a talk show now, Bethany?
Have not watched that.
That's the one I'm talking about. Okay, I'm glad that's the one we were talking about. It's like a daily talk show, like an Oprah thing.
I would never watch that.
Okay, that's what I thought we were talking about.
No, Bethany Ever After, her Bravo show.
Oh, I was very confused and scared of you for like 45 seconds there. I'm glad we had this conversation.
No, I would never watch her talk shows.
Good.
It's like the budget Ellen, and I don't even watch Ellen.
Yeah, I will watch Ellen up until the dancing stops.
Right.
And then I'm out.
Well, Ellen,
but there was a while there where I was into the dancing. I was like, oh, Ellen's gonna dance. I'm like, cool. It's a solid 45 seconds of television when she comes out and everybody dances.
I just want to let you know though that Bethany's talk show is very successful.
How did you know that? You've never seen it.
I was talking to someone who works in TV at like a party, and they were saying that it has the most some record amongst like the 18 to 34 demographic of women, because she's very popular with people like me, and people watch the show. Yeah, and so it's like a demographic that doesn't usually watch like daytime TV, like tunes in for Bethany or like DVRs it or whatever.
Yeah.
But also that might be skewed by the fact that I know she had Justin Bieber on, and that's gold.
There you go.
But the fact that she got him is a little bit impressive to me.
Good for her. Like I find that like all this talk about the wine and the logo and their businesses, they really wouldn't have these businesses without the quote-unquote notoriety they've gained on this show. So It's kind of like it's like a snake eating its tail. It's just like, this wouldn't exist without that, but that wouldn't exist without that. And it's just kind of confusing and makes my head hurt, so I want to move on.
Okay.
The Bachelor Pad.
Ooh.
I mean, we've been talking for about 10, 15 minutes now, and we haven't even talked about the Bachelor Pad.
It was a ridiculous challenge this week.
It was the Sludge Fun Day, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to explain to the people who didn't see the Bachelor Pad. Again, weird. It's the Sludge Fun Day. The Hot Sludge Fun Day?
Not sure.
But
I don't do a close reading of the Bachelor Pad like you do.
Okay,
you seem to remember every single word uttered.
Yes, I do. I enjoy the Bachelor Pad. And basically the producers sit down when they have these brainstorms for the challenges, and they're like, what's the most embarrassing thing we can have them do? And they're like, all right, let's make them turn themselves into hot fudge sundaes. All right, how will we do that? We'll make them walk through quote-unquote ice cream, which was a big foam pit, and then they have to climb and slide down a hot fudge sundae slide, which is basically like mud and grime and gross stuff. Then they have to climb through some whipped cream, and then they get into a burlap sack, and they pour nuts on themselves, 5 scoops of nuts. And while Chris Harrison is explaining this, he says, and then after you've poured the nuts on your head, you have to hop over to your partner in your nut sack. And it was like, I was just thinking to myself, like, oh my God, they got Chris Harrison. Chris Harrison really enjoyed saying nutsack on television.
He probably had to practice for a long time to stay straight.
Yeah,
because how do you not break and laugh on that? It's so outrageous.
It's so good. It was just like the ABC primetime nutsack drop made me really happy. He didn't crack a smile either. He's a pro.
Yeah, he's a total pro. I mean, he's really good at hosting the Bachelor Pad. It's kind of impressive to me because it's so absurd, and he always remains so earnest.
And takes it seriously.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually like one of the main things that keeps me coming back is like the way that he is so earnest, why the show is so ridiculous. Because, unpopular opinion alert, I don't love it the way that some other people do, like you.
Really? Well, one of my critiques of it is right about now is when it starts to turn into like a numbers thing, and people couple up. Like there's like 4 or 5 couples in the house right now, and it's no longer this kind of like swingers party, and that's when it's like not fun anymore.
Right.
And it's starting to get there. It's starting to become like about the game, or they actually like care, and they're not just like getting drunk and hooking up with each other.
I'm glad you brought that up, the game, when it comes to Bachelor Pad, because newsflash, you're not on Survivor.
Yeah. Or the challenge.
I have to quote you and Bill, the fifth professional sport.
Yes. America's fifth professional sport, the challenge.
I just like hate when they start talking about like strategy and stuff. Especially, this is what really bothered me when they talk about strategy with regards to the dates, because on the regular Bachelor, like winning a date is important. Like that's how you win the Bachelor. You get FaceTime with the Bachelor or Bachelorette.
Yeah.
On this show, winning the dates means absolutely nothing. I mean, I guess like if like so this week Rachel won the date and she's like she's like entering a relationship with Stags, our favorite.
Shout out to Stags.
Stags, what's up?
Yeah.
And so like I guess it's like good for them to spend time together. But there's no real reason why they have to.
Or she has to bring 2 other dudes.
Right. Like there's no value to the date, and they just do like the most low budget dates. Like usually on The Bachelor it's like something really cool, but they've spent all of their money on flying someone in a helicopter over like to like a remote island previously. So all they have to do is go to the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum.
Yeah, and then they like I want to make this very brief. And then they basically pretend that they're wax figures of themselves, which like if you really think that someone spent the time and like energy to make a wax figure of a D-list Bachelor rejectee, like no.
You don't have a wax figure of Stags in your backyard?
No, I don't, but I do have a pencil sketch of him.
Just like Donna.
Just like Donna, yeah, exactly. I would like to talk about Stags for a second.
Okay.
I forwarded you this video last night that was found to me by GRTFL super scorer Caitlin. Shout out to you, Caitlin. The Stags I believe yesterday or this week, released a serious music video.
I was impressed that she saw it so soon. Very impressive, Caitlin.
Yes, good work by you. What did you think of the music video?
I thought that it was like surprisingly high production value. Like it was, which is not to say it was high production value.
No.
But it was not like as like bad as it could be.
Above expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. It definitely seemed like if he doesn't get like career doing anything or he doesn't want to be on Bachelor Pad 4, he can at least be like the nameless musical guest that plays over like one of the weird dates on Bachelor Pad.
Not on the Bachelor Bachelorette. On
no, just on Bachelor Pad. Because
exactly.
they have like a history of having musical people like be a part of the date at like the weird location they go to, but they don't name them.
No,
so
they named him this time as like a country singer, and it was like, but they clearly had to prompt whoever said her name what her name was.
Right, and it was like not a memorable name whatsoever, and like.
No.
And so I think that he should hopefully win the money again so he doesn't have to rely on his music career.
Another thing I want to talk to you about, Juliet, is the money, right? They keep saying like, this is for $250,000. Like the reason the game's so important to me is it's for $250,000. It's like, all right, let's do the math, okay? You split that with somebody else. Let's say me and you win the Bachelor Pad. You get $125,000, I get $125,000. And then Uncle Sam comes in, right?
Yeah, 40%.
40%, so that you're down to like 80 grand or something. 80 grand, you can basically live like a 24-year-old for a year.
Yeah, like comfortably, not that lavish. You're not going on a weekend trip every time.
You still have a roommate. You still have a roommate. Yeah. It's not that much money is the point, and they act like it is. One of my favorite things about the Bachelor Pad this week was my favorite Bachelor Padder, Ed. And Ed is not ashamed to get slammered every single night. He's also coitused 2 of his castmates.
Oh man, this week.
Yeah, something else. We won't even talk about it.
Too dirty for this.
Yeah. And he got really sullen at this one point when he found out that his friend Reed was scheming against him to vote him off, and he was like, I can't believe that people are lying. I can't believe this is happening. Like, where is the honesty in the world? It's like, Ed, 15 minutes ago, you were climbing up a wall of hot fudge and jumping into ice cream. Okay.
Correction.
Yeah.
He was not climbing up the wall.
Attempting to.
He kept falling down.
Fair.
They had his team had the largest lead probably in the history of Bachelor Pad in one of those events, and he came in last.
Absolutely last. It was not a great performance by Ed, but his shock at that there might be dishonesty amongst the Bachelor Pad cast. It's like, Ed, like, you've seen this before, man. Like, you know what you signed up for, right?
I mean, he also, why would he think that him and Reed would be friends? Like, him and Reed have a known beef, I thought. Like,
is that known? Did you watch that season?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I think it was filmed in like 1975.
It was Jillian's season, I think?
Yes, it was Jillian's season.
I didn't. I was like kind of into The Bachelor back then. I really got into it following Ali Fedotowsky's season.
Yeah, that's kind of where I jumped into.
Yeah. I did not watch it, but I thought he must have known that they had a problem or something. I don't know. Ed seems to be in his own world, and I admire him for it.
Yeah, his own world is the hot tub. Like, I think he goes to the challenge, and he gets back, and he jumps in grabs himself a drink, and jumps in the hot tub, and just stays there throughout the rest of the episode.
I could totally see Ed.
I don't even think he sleeps at night.
He might sleep in the hot tub.
That's what I'm saying. Who knows?
Although we know occasionally he gets out, like when he's with Jacqueline or whatever. And who else did he hook up with? Sarah?
Sarah, yeah.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
I could totally imagine Ed having like an apartment sort of like in Coming to America where all there is that hot tub.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing in there. Spending his $70,000 worth of winnings, potential winnings from the Bachelor Pad on a hot tub for his apartment in Chicago.
In a tiny apartment too.
That would be with Arsenio Hall.
Yeah, he just soaks in and watches The Bachelor or The Bachelorette.
All he's doing.
Ooh, do you know what we learned about this week?
What?
The secret ex-Bachelor Bachelorette cast member Facebook club.
I'm really glad you brought that up. I would love to be in that group.
You need to infiltrate. I'm not on Facebook, so it's on you.
I know. I got to think about what connections I could.
Here's what you do. You go on The Bachelor. That's what you do. You go on The Bachelor next season, okay?
I mean, I have thrown that idea around when I heard about the fans being on the Bachelor Pad.
There you go. You go on The Bachelor, right? And then you just lose quickly. And then you have the credentials to get in the secret Facebook group. There's a secret cast member meetup in Chicago this weekend.
Well, not so secret anymore. You just outed them.
Yeah, because I'm going.
I hope someone from Chicago listens to this and tracks them down. I need to know the details.
Yes. You will, and I hope they have an Instagram account that you can follow with the meticulous detail that you followed the Team USA through London.
I mean, who knows what could happen? I've like heard about some of these meetups before, but I think they're not secret. I think they're like sponsored by like some
ABC or whatever.
Yeah, or something like that.
We learned this from Reality Steve.
Yeah. What's up, Reality Steve?
Yeah, what's up, Reality Steve? Who is more obsessed than we are with this franchise.
Way more. It's just a different kind of infatuation.
Shout out to him. And
he's doing the God's work, bringing us the information.
Exactly. There's some other shows that I want to talk to you about briefly.
Right.
I have fallen back into the Bad Girls Club hole. The Bad Girls Club, you've never watched, have you?
No, but I have two friends who are really into it, so I've heard a lot about it.
It's probably on its like 6th or 7th or 8th or 80th season. And at the first 3 seasons, I was 100% in on it. It was my favorite show on television. And it went to this really evil place because what happened is at the beginning they didn't know what they were getting into, so there was no standards that were set. And as the show progressed, it basically turns into fighting. Brutal physical fighting amongst the female cast members. And now it's at the point where like they almost train like Manny Pacquiao would for a fight before they go in.
Does anyone have massive calves?
No, but Manny Pacquiao does have massive calves. And that was good. And this season, I've fallen back into it, and there's at least 2 fistfights an episode.
Ooh.
And so much so that they no longer kick people out for fighting.
Did they used to kick people out?
They did.
Was that the point of the show? To get kicked out?
Kind of. Like they have like a cast of 7 people, but they have like 25 alternates just waiting because they cycle through them so quickly. But they did kick this one woman off this week, and they explained to her, she's like, "What? Like I'm getting kicked off? Like what are you talking about?" And then they explained to her that she was brutally beating the other person. So that's
what's the line between not brutal and brutal?
Yes, I feel like it's like when the Olympic gymnastic judges have to like review the tape to like up Ali Riesman's difficulty score. Like they go back and they look at the truck and they're like, all right, like where's the brutal versus non-brutal? He said the punch to the face was very brutal.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
A punch to the face. Was there bleeding?
There was not bleeding. They do a lot of punching. There's a lot of punches to the face.
That would be my line. If you draw blood, then you're out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, I was expecting more brutal than that.
It really wasn't that brutal.
Maybe they just didn't like her. Maybe she was a nuisance in the house. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's almost like it's not my fault she can't fight.
Right.
This is the Bad Girls Club. You should be training like Manny Pacquiao. You should come in here with huge calves.
Yeah, it's like maybe they should like try to like incept them by showing them the episode of Entourage where Johnny Drama's trying to get the calf implants or trying to get his calves bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
They should be showing that on a loop to try to encourage her to have different kinds of bodies that are better for fighting.
Good point.
Thank you.
You've been watching a show that I have not. It's an online series, which is like a whole new level of trashy reality television, which I'm proud to be at.
Yeah, so I have dabbled a little bit in K-Town, at the encouragement of Grantland editor Emily Yoshida and Grantland business development director David Cho. And they're both into it. I don't love it, but it is always available.
What is
in
it?
10
Just explain
minutes
what it is exactly.
It's like set in Koreatown of LA, and it's
which is huge, by the way. It's
huge.
it's basically the size of Rhode Island.
It's like the size. It's like all of LA is basically.
In New York
Koreatown.
City, you get like a small block,
One
between
block.
Broadway and Fifth Avenue. Not even 6th and 5th. Broadway and Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, like 30 seconds.
Yeah. And in Los Angeles, it's the size. It's like a country.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, you have to like go out of your way to like not go to Koreatown.
It's
sometimes.
fantastic too, by the way. Korean barbecue is one of the
fantastic.
top 5 things about Los Angeles.
There's like this great duck place over on Olympic that I love. Anyway, it's like a hand-picked group of Koreans live in Koreatown.
How do you think they handpicked them?
I don't know. I mean, how did they find Lauren Conrad and her friends for the Hills? It's like similar thing. I mean, they probably had a casting call.
Yeah.
They're probably.
But what type of people are they? Is my question.
They're sort of like there's the one who's like new to LA. There's the single hot mom. There's like the one who's like sort of like the party animal / princess, like same one. And then there's like the party promoter guy, and then there's like the sort of like the high roller.
Dumb question. Are they all Korean?
Yes.
Okay.
And they like I only watched like 1.5 episodes, but I feel like each one is like 14 minutes, like 10 to 14. That's too much for me. Like I need like 2-minute spurts, so I'm kind of like going along slowly.
Okay.
But it's like it's so clearly scripted. Or like at least there's like a loose setup that then they like kind of are not that creative with the dialogue. And like the fabricated relationships are just sort of very obvious. But it's like a good like trifle online if you have like a few minutes to kill and you want to watch something like.
There you go.
And also I kind of like that stuff now because I'm new to LA, so I like watching like I've driven past there, like I know where that is.
Yeah, I live right by Koreatown. Like I think it'd be super cool to like recognize different places and stuff and see intersections and things like that.
Yeah, it definitely is.
This was like when Jersey Shore came out. There was all this sort of like they're gonna come out with the Persian version and like
that could be the name of it.
And yeah, that was actually like what it said, the Persian version. And like there's gonna be like a Bay Ridge Russian one, and there's gonna be the Geordie Shore. Like I'm surprised it took 5 years for this to happen.
Well, K-Town's been rumored for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about it when they first started the development. It was like gonna be on MTV, but I think it wasn't good enough, so that's why they put it on on YouTube. And it definitely is not like the same kind of. It doesn't seem either like depraved enough or glamorous enough for it to be on TV. It's like too like normal almost. Like
too normal.
Yeah, like the people are like you could know them, so it's like so it's not as fun.
I think I want to talk about we've been here for a while, so have I earned enough credit to talk about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
And I watched it a few minutes this week, so.
Okay, so you watched a few minutes this week. You're ready to be an expert.
Well,
Perfect.
I feel like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta you can only absorb so much anyway. It's like you max out after like kind of getting like 25% of each show. It's like kind of like as much as your body can handle anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm good to go.
If you're not watching this show, it's probably not a bad thing. But there's this gentleman named Stevie J who's got a baby mama and girlfriend-ish thing. They're in a relationship. And he's a producer. He's got an artist that he's obviously sleeping with, and he allegedly got pregnant. And there's this whole thing like, is this show scripted, or are these people just living these wild lives that happened while they're filming? And I was undecided for a while, which is really embarrassing to admit, because this week he says, all right, I've got an idea, girls. Separately, he's like, we should have a couples therapy session with the 3 of us. And when he said that, I was like, wait a second. Did you really not think this was scripted? Like, what dude in the world who has 2 girlfriends is like, I got an idea, guys. Let's all get together with a therapist and just talk this out.
I liked how I watched that. I was like in the beginning of the episode, so I saw that part.
Okay, good.
I liked how Mimi was like, I thought she did a good job of selling it. She was like irate, wasn't she, about like having his suggestions?
She was like, oh hell no, that's not happening, blah 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 blah. And then like in the next segment, she's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna do it.
They're probably like dangled some money or something. They're like, if you get a bonus if you go to therapy.
If you go to this therapy session.
Therapy bonus or something.
It's so scripted, and like you say, this K-Town thing is scripted, and I really feel that there's going to be a backlash against this like uber scripted reality television thing that we're on now. I think there's going to be a more verite documentary style like genre that's going to come out soon.
Well, I think we need some fresh ideas, and they don't even need to be so lowbrow. Like I would even take a highbrow reality TV show.
No.
Like even like some more like MTV. I feel like is deviating from the stuff I really want to watch. Like I used to watch Teen Mom the first season. I know that you can't do it, but like I used to watch that stuff. Like I watched 2-A-Days when that was on. I loved that show.
2-A-Days is pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Like just give me some more like high school football
and
drama.
Just follow them around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There'll be something. Like you can create drama with editing.
The Laguna Beach was gold. Why did they stop doing those shows?
That was scripted as well.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
Well, there was the rumor a few months ago that they were this summer filming like a new Laguna Beach style show in like either Malibu or like Pacific Palisades. I was just thinking about that today. I wonder.
How have they not done like the New York version of that?
Well, they did. It was New York City Prep, and it was appalling.
Was it called Fame or something?
No, it was called NYC Prep.
I didn't watch it.
Oh, it was really bad.
I missed that.
It was on Bravo, and it was just gross. It was not really that well done. Obviously, I watched it anyway, and all the shows that are set in New York I watched because I like to identify where they are. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the schools is like right near where my parents lived. Mm-hmm. But it was
the greatest block in New York City.
Yeah,
you claim.
It is.
Okay.
Thanks for telling everyone.
Yeah, no problem.
88th Street.
In the West End, if you're wondering.
Yeah.
I know. We've heard. Okay.
Anyway, they did it, and it was not good. I feel like a lot of the schools, like with high school kids, where you could get some easy drama, and like they would do it for little money and whatever. I think the schools like won't allow it, and also parents now know not to allow it because it's so commonplace. Mm-hmm. But that stuff just seems so easy. I mean, what about why don't they do college reality shows?
I don't know. I bet you have to get the college to agree. And I don't think they want that because they know what happens on reality shows, and they're like it's like an education.
Yeah, and it'll like show like you would need all the partying and then make the school look really bad.
And that's the good stuff. Yeah, they wouldn't show people learning stuff because that doesn't make for good television.
It's really too bad because that'd be great. Like I loved Sorority Life and Fraternity Life. Did you watch that?
Didn't watch those.
Oh, they were great.
I think like there was that Dangerous Catch and Ice Road Truckers movement for a while where it was like let's get people with really fun jobs and follow them around and just let them live their lives. Like they don't have to plan an event that might go wrong and they're not sure on Ice Road Truckers. You know what I mean? Like they're not like designing the logo on Dangerous Catch. Like they're really out there doing their jobs. But then that even turned scripted when they went to these like swamp people things and like whichever one where they're like the professional gator catchers and stuff. Like they're not even those are set up and scripted.
You know what else was great was Whale Wars. That guy, what's his name? Paul something?
I don't know. He
started Greenpeace and was thrown out of it for being too radical, and then he started this Whale Wars movement. It was great. He's crazy. They used to go to like the South Antarctic Sea to stop the Japanese people from poaching whales.
And guess what? Japanese whale poachers, not too hip to the Greenpeace guy coming by.
Definitely not. You used to throw stink bombs at them. Yeah. And, like, you had to be willing to risk your life to be on the Sea Shepherd.
Okay, I want to talk to you about this, because when I watched that show as a television producer, I was watching and I was like, not only is he risking his life, but the whole entire crew is too.
It's a requisite to be on the show, on the boat.
It's like, I'm not doing that. There's no paycheck that you could, actually there is, but it's very, very, a lot of zeros on that paycheck, to get me out on that boat. Like, those guys must be making a lot of money to film that show.
Well, it was a great show, so they deserved it. Yeah. I mean, but like that, even that kind of stuff, like we need some more of that. I feel like there's a real... There'll be a real void.
I think it's coming.
I hope so.
We have to wrap up soon.
Okay.
There's a couple things we want to talk about quickly. I want to talk about Mama Drama.
Ooh.
Just briefly, Mama Drama is a show, okay? There was a press release probably last October that was by VH1. There was like, this show's coming, even earlier, September.
It was VH1 and 495 Productions, right?
Yeah, who do Jersey Shore, I believe so.
Sally
Ann Sassano, yep, shout out to her. Thank you for all the hours of entertainment. That they're like, this show's coming. It's going to debut on January 1st, 2012. It's got 4 sets or 6 sets of mother-daughter combinations that are best friends and love to party together, living in a house in Las Vegas, right?
Right.
Drama will ensue. It's called Mama Drama. I was as excited for this than when I found out they were going to release the Jersey Shore. It's a no-brainer, surefire hit. What happens?
It just gets totally buried.
Never comes out.
Yeah, it just came out a couple weeks ago.
And
there was no publicity for it.
No publicity.
The weirdest thing was they played the first episode and then there was no re-airings of it for like 5 days until like 1 a.m. on Saturday night.
Which is insane because all they do is re-air their shows.
Right, they're on constantly.
Yeah.
Especially when you want to like break out a new show like that, you show it a million times.
And their lack of faith in it has even driven me away.
Well, yes, so I watched a few minutes of it, but it's not watchable.
Have you watched an entire episode of a show this week?
Yeah, Yeah, I watched all of Real World. Watched all of Housewives.
Okay, good job.
I also, just for the record, watch scripted shows too, so that takes up time.
Oh, a lot of USA scripted shows.
USA scripted shows.
Give me 2-minute update on the USA scripted shows.
A lot of them are ending. The best one is Suits. If anyone's gonna deviate from reality TV, go straight to Suits.
Go straight to Suits.
It's really a lawyer drama.
And you
great.
legitimately co-sign these USA dramas.
Not. Oh, like them. There's some of them are pleasant.
Don't hedge.
Suits, I'm all in on. I
what
love
else
Suits.
are you watching?
White Collar, really good.
Okay. What else?
I also watch Breaking Bad.
Okay.
The Newsroom.
All right, those are fair. All right. So, but your USA
Who
is
wants
White
to
Collar
hear
and
another
Suits.
person talk about these prestige TV shows? I mean, I don't need to vocalize how great Breaking Bad is.
Don't you think that?
We have Candyland for that.
Don't you think they hate the name Candyland? It's a Hollywood Perspectives podcast with Chris and Andy. They have White Collar and they have Suits. They need to come out with like shoes in a pocket square and they'll have a full-on outfit.
That's a really good point.
Also a really hacky joke.
Part of the appeal of Suits, or not Suits, but White Collar, is that Matt Bomer dresses very well on it. Like, I like just watching what he wears.
Very, very. I'm definitely tuning in this week to see what this guy I've never heard of is wearing.
He's also in Magic Mike. He's having a moment, I would say.
Good for him. Before we wrap up, you've got an update on one of our favorite shows, Survivor.
September 19th. Cannot wait.
Right around the corner.
It really is quite soon.
Yeah.
I just want to say the two reality shows I'm most excited about for this fall are The Voice and Survivor, two Mark Burnett joints.
Okay.
So this is season 25. Can you believe it?
Yes, I can.
It's in the Philippines.
Okay.
And it's
is Manny Pacquiao going to be there?
might make a cameo. Who knows?
Get a good shot of his calves, Burnett.
So they were so tired of people, like students of the show coming on, like people who are super fans and study it. This is a show where strategy is actually legitimate. Like it is a game.
It is
a game
kind
of
of
strategy.
the entire thing.
Yes,
yeah, you're
it's
not climbing up a hot fudge wall. Well, you are, but you get it.
But they do challenges that anyone could win, like holding your arm up for a really long time.
Yeah, great television, by the way, Mark Burnett. Come on.
Anyway, this season they were sick of that, so they're abandoning the 2-tribe format. They're going back to 3 tribes, which they haven't done since All Stars, which was a great season and gave us the
Boston Rob,
the greatest puzzle person in the history of reality TV, and Amber, his wife.
Have you ever heard Bill's Boston Rob impression?
No, I haven't.
It's fantastic.
Oh,
you should have him do it sometime.
I will.
It's great.
Anyway, so they're back to 3 tribes, but there are 3 returning former survivors, and I cannot get behind that. But do you want to know who the 3 are?
Can I guess?
Sure.
I have no idea.
One of them is Mike, who fell into the fire in the Australian outback, season 2.
Oh, yes.
And he had to be airlifted out.
Yep.
He was good. That was my first season. I was really into it, season 2.
I have no recollection of that. It was like 10 years ago.
It was
absolutely no clue.
It was over 10 years ago.
Yeah. Just nodding my head like, yeah, Mike, the guy that fell in the fire, sure.
He was good, so he'll be back. But he's basically a new character. No one really remembers him.
Yeah.
Then there's Russell, who was on Russell Hance's first season. He was the other Russell, and he fainted during a challenge, hit his head.
Don't remember him either.
Had to be airlifted out. And
is this a theme? Is the
Yeah.
third one airlifted out too?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I love it.
The third one's personal favorite. I hope you remember this guy because he's great. Jonathan Penner.
Don't remember him either.
Oh, Jacoby. He's on twice already. He was on my favorite season 12, which was Race Wars, a.k.a. Cook Islands, with Yul and Ozzy.
Yep, that was a fantastic season.
It was the best. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then he was on Micronesia, Fans versus Favorites. Or no, excuse me, Heroes versus Villains.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
And he had to leave that. So he's back because of that.
Gray-haired guy?
Yeah, and he's like
it's like an old fireman or something?
I think he's in an episode of Arrested Development. He's like a writer/actor.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
He's him and Jeff have kind of an antagonistic relationship. He's Penner. Remember Cochran from 2 or 3 seasons ago came on? He's like, all the survivors you really like, you call them by their last name. Penner.
Yeah,
so call me Cochran.
Yeah, of course.
So Penner is to super fans like me, he's kind of a figurehead.
Good.
So I can't wait.
Well, good. I'm glad that they went with a theme, though. They're let's get all the people that had to leave early.
Yeah, and it's 3 teams of 6. I think it's going to be good.
I'm excited about it.
I am, too. And hopefully they'll hold off on merging for a while, because if they just mix up the tribes right away, it's going to be boring. But I think they know they, need some new life in that show.
Yeah, they do.
So.
They do. Well, it's been a lot of fun talking to you.
Likewise, as always.
There's a lot more reality television to watch. I just want to thank all of the hosts of the Grantland Network shows this week for taking over the BS Report, and thank Bill for allowing us to do so. You can find the Grantland Network on iTunes. Search us, subscribe to us. We will make you laugh. We will entertain you. We will inform you. Or we'll just babble for an hour about reality TV. Mamba.
Out.
until I get the sign off. Whoa!
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Podcenter at ESPNRadio.com.
Peace out.
All right, fans, by now you should know that millions of fans use StubHub and the StubHub app to find the seats they want to games, concerts, and more. But one thing you may not know is that you can also go on StubHub to set a price alert. That means you choose where you want to sit and the price you want to pay. Then if another fan lists tickets for sale within your price range, StubHub will email to let you know. Pretty great, huh? So head to StubHub today to get your tickets or the app to set a price alert. You can't go wrong.
StubHub!